And we have some musicians here in the studio. We've got three members, the founding members of Andrew North and the Rangers. So we've got Andrew North here at the news desk. How are you?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to meet you. Welcome. And we got Chip and Dale on the couch. We've got, and they are the rhythm section of the band. So now, Chip, you're the bassist. Is that correct?
Oh, that is correct. Yes.
I should have known from the shirt. And so Dale, you're the drummer, obviously.
Yep.
And who sing? Do you guys all sing, or do you do all the singing?
We all sing. We try to spread lead singing duties around a little bit. Everybody sings some harmony parts. I end up doing a good chunk of the lead singing, but we all sing.
Okay. Yeah, you got some love in the Facebook live chat while that last song was on. Miriam Banish was commenting how much she liked it, and somebody else said they had a chicken in the backyard. Oh, Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont. She says, "Hey, I got a chicken in the backyard too."
Very relatable too.
Yes. Yeah. So Andrew North and the Rangers is here with us in studio. You know, when I first started to become aware of you guys, I had seen Fredo from Dank Sinatra. He had, you probably saw this. This was a while ago. He had posted on social media something about he was thinking about starting a band called Andrew South and the Rangers.
I still hope he does. I think that would be incredible.
That would be great. And you guys could tour together.
I know. I was going to say I would love to be their opening act.
Yeah. There you go. Well, where does the name come from?
Hey, well, that's a long story.
Well, we got time. We got time.
Andrew, when Andrew first met us, he was doing a solo gig as just Andrew of the North.
Oh, okay.
And we were still trying to figure out how to name the rest of the band. And the first gig we were at True Brew, which sadly no longer exists in Concord, and we were Andrew of the North and Friends or something. And Andrew introduced us to the crowd and this is Chip, and this is Dale.
Yeah.
And some woman out there goes, Chip and Dale, like the Rescue Rangers? And so we're like, oh, we'll be Andrew of the North and the Rescue Rangers.
Oh.
Way too long.
Right.
That eventually got, shortened to Andrew North and the Rangers. But that's where Rangers comes from because some woman screamed out, Rescue Rangers.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. You guys got a bunch of live albums. I mean, it seems like, are you kind of really just more focused on being a live band? Because it looks like you've got a lot of live stuff.
We're geared towards the live show. Every show is different. We improvise a lot. Set list is always different. We try to keep, a lot of new covers entering rotation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, our model is to share as much of that as broadly as possible. And then the new live album we have, Thanks for the Warning, Volume 1, is sort of a selection of stuff that we thought was really noteworthy from the last year. But we also we publish everything. So we record shows on our own and put them up on Bandcamp and on archive.org and things like that, just to share it. I don't think there's any benefit in this day and age to kind of keeping that stuff close. I think it's nice to put out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I opened the show today with Infinity Spinning, which was cool because I usually open with a long song that, let people get tuned in and whatnot. And great stuff.
Yeah, that's the challenge actually with this album and promoting this album is every track on it is like 7 or 8 minutes long.
Yeah,
You go to radio shows and they're like, yeah, it's a little long.
Yeah. We don't mind that here, but we're unusual. Yeah, you got a couple of shorter ones. Looks like the shortest one on this album is Thing About the Woods. That's only 4.5 minutes. That's a good radio length. But yeah, everything else, yeah, you're right. A lot of long songs.
Now, we are not known for our short songs.
Yeah,
it's not our thing too much.
But when you play live, does that kind of vary with these songs because there is some improvisation? I mean, is a lot of that just kind of feeling your way through it and then?
Yeah, it depends on where things are at on any given night. We don't buy into the pure jam band model where a song is going to go like 100% to the left and end up at 18 minutes or something. But there's a lot of padding built in where, if the vibe on a given night is to take something and, make it a little weird or explore something that we find while we're in the middle of it, we'll just jump right into that and go with it. And so that puts things on the longer side because I think we all, as players, really enjoy having that room to explore. And I think our audience really likes it too.
Yeah, drives Chip crazy, so we like to do that.
Yeah, appreciate that, guys.
Does it? Does it drive you crazy?
It's an interesting adventure. I mean, I generally like it. I mean, I love the level of talent in this band.
Yeah.
It's probably the most talented band I've ever played with.
Oh, cool.
Which is really nice.
Cool.
So it's a lot of fun playing with these guys.
So it started. So the band, as far as it being a band, it started with the three of you. But
Yeah.
but then there's other. But you have other musicians who play with you, right?
Yeah, we're a 6-piece.
Okay, 6-piece. So yeah, because I saw a couple of different pictures, and I think the most recent one I had seen there were 6 of you. Okay, so who else is there who's not here with us? And by the way, feel free to make up any crazy stories about why they're not here, because we enjoy that. Have fun with it if you want to. It's up to you.
I think the first to bring up is Rob, the mysterious stranger O'Brien, who is a saxophone player by trade, but he also plays. You may have seen pictures of it. This like silver sci-fi looking thing. It's called an aerophone.
Okay.
And it's been a real education for me as to how wind synths work. And so it took us a little while because he would come in and like play a clarinet sound or something. You'd be like, it kind of sounds like a clarinet, but not quite. And when we were first exploring that turf, I was like, I don't know if this is cool or not. And then it sort of over time has become the coolest thing ever.
Really?
Because it's on stage and everyone's like, I have never seen one of those before. I have no idea what it is. And we don't have a guitarist in our band. And so we actually have him rip electric guitar solos on that thing. Which
Wow.
Is, it's unique.
Yeah.
Well, there's always one person at the show who will come up, like either during a set break or at the end and say, "What is that thing?"
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Well, that's cool too, because it gives you, to be able to really stand out and have something that nobody else has, that nobody else does. I mean, that's awesome.
Well, and Rob just keeps getting better and better with it as far as the sounds he finds and the spots he finds to fit in where he has just these unbelievable like weird synthesizer sounds that are almost like sounds like it's through a bunch of effects pedals and
Oh, wow.
it's super cool.
Yeah.
You'll hear it on our songs, and now that we've said aerophone, you'll start to listen and go,
Yeah.
oh, maybe that's that thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You said, and you called them was it the mysterious?
The mysterious stranger.
I have to know. That sounds like there's a story there.
Do we have a concrete story for that?
It's sort of ever evolving between different stage attire that he chooses, the different times that he does or doesn't show up for a show.
Well,
Practice.
initially when we got started, I think it was more the fact that he was not able to make practice a lot of the time because his job took him away.
Yeah.
And so whenever he showed up, he was this sort of stranger who kind of just popped in and,
Oh,
still
okay.
knew everything.
Yeah.
He would usually just roll into a show without practicing at all, and we would, maybe send him some stuff from practice. We're like, here's what we're working on. And
Yeah.
He would show up and just slay at the show. He'd be like, okay, cool. We're like, we don't know who that guy is, but he just kind of came out on stage and did his thing with his sci-fi toaster.
Yeah. That's great.
And so that in varying degrees has continued. And yes, Rob is like, he's a vibe. Like sometimes he'll show up dressed like Mr. Rogers. Sometimes he'll show up dressed like I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up in like jorts and an open leather jacket with no shirt on underneath it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So there's Rob and then who else?
And then Jillian Rourke, who plays baritone saxophone.
Okay.
And she, like most of us in the band, is a recovering grown-up who came to us, 2 years ago now? A little less than 2 years ago. She met Rob at a 4th of July party, and she is a pediatric dermatologist.
Yep.
And Rob was talking about our band and, playing music, and she was like, well, I used to play baritone saxophone a long time ago, and I'm dying to do something with it. And so Rob brought her to band practice, and she took that opportunity and ran with it like I've never seen anybody run with anything before. Like she is
just fit right in.
Personality fit absolutely perfect and just brings the best energy that just it contributes so much to what we do, and so it's been amazing to have her on board.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then we have Randy Honeyman, who plays percussion, and he's in every band in Concord, every single one, which is kind of amazing. And we had a big show at the Bank of New Hampshire stage in Concord, and we were looking to sort of pad the sound. And, so we brought Randy on for that one gig, and he came to a few practices. And we're all like, wow, we all really get along really well. And it's really nice having this extra layer on the sound. And so he, has really quickly gotten up to speed on learning all of the material and the way that we operate with, again, improvising or being ready to like take a song in a direction you might not have expected it to go, or it has never gone in practice or at a show before.
Yeah.
And he's a really good sport about that as well.
We catch him sometimes.
Yeah.
So we've ended up with this group of 6 people who are all very much on the same page. We all get along really well. We're all willing to work really hard at something that is a little bit ridiculous and a lot of fun for us. And I am so grateful for it. It's such a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
And every time we get buy-in from more people, it blows my mind a little bit, because it started as like my weird little thing, and then I had you guys in on my weird little thing, and now we're like a going concern. And it's really cool.
Yeah, that's great. So with a band like this and this kind of configuration, if it be, like you mentioned, Rob he can't necessarily make it to every show. So is that kind of doing the kind of music that you're doing, and with the ability to kind of improvise, does that make it easier to kind of adapt to situations like that? I've always wondered, because I'm a musician. I've played in a bunch of bands, but I've never played in anything where, you kind of had that flexibility. Maybe if somebody isn't there, that's okay. You can kind of work around it and still have it be really good. Is that kind of the situation with?
Yeah, we do that all the time. And we're 80% original.
Yeah.
So doing that, we can show up with anything from a trio to any of the combination of quads to the full band and put on a good show.
Yeah.
Chip and I are the only people who've played in every Andrew North and the Rangers show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I missed one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
In 5 years.
Was the other guy?
And they won't let me forget it.
Was the other guy who does percussion? I forgot his name. I apologize. Was he able to be
Randy
there?
Randy was on that.
There you go.
so
There
it
you go.
worked out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Very cool. What about on the live releases? I assume that's the full band.
Yeah, that's everybody on the. Some of those live releases on Bandcamp are, but again, by nature of publishing as much as we can, some of those are different configurations. And we've had, we had a night recently where we couldn't have either sax player; they weren't available, so we called in. Do you know Matt the sax?
I don't think so.
He plays with Super Nothing. He's a great sax player.
I think he's going to be playing the national anthem at the
the Fisher Cats.
the Fisher Cats game coming up soon. I can't remember which one, but I think the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, he's an amazing player, and he for years he'd come up to me and be like, I want to play a gig with you guys sometime. I was like, here's your gig. And so he came like on extremely short notice and played the gig with us and killed it. And again, by nature of having a lot of improvisation, there's a lot of room to just, here's where we're at tonight. Here's what we've got, and let's do something interesting with it. And it's really a fun place to be as a musician, to have the opportunity to do that.
Oh yeah. So you guys probably you sometimes you'll fill a whole night, I would imagine, right? Like you could do like 3 hours or something if.
We can do 7 hours. Seriously. Yeah. We got a couple of gigs coming up back to back where we're going to do 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
No repeats.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. Fun. That's kind of been a goal. I mean, I've been in bands all over the country, and I've never had a band in the 40-something years that I've been playing that could ever do that.
Yeah.
So it's a fun milestone for me. It's like, whoa, we can play 2 nights and not repeat.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And you said it's like 80% originals?
Yeah. We add as many covers as we can. Those tend to get second place priority in practice, because working on original stuff is really fun.
Yeah.
So we tend to be a little more motivated towards that. And then the covers, we're always working on sort of a cover that will visit over the course of practice until it's where it needs to be to play out. And so that like those keep accumulating, but the original stuff tends to be where we're motivated to move things along faster. So we're always picking up new songs.
What kind of covers do you do?
Anything.
Well, I think our main influence for covers would be like The Cure and Warren Zevon.
Oh yeah.
Ben Folds.
Oh.
We're all fans of those types of bands.
Yeah.
But we also do, some jazz stuff like, John Scofield, some tunes off of a Go-Go, and things like that. So we try to cover some good range. I mean, that, playing Scofield isn't really going to get you a lot of crowd buy-in, but
I would imagine there's probably some that you do that the crowd doesn't necessarily even realize that they're covers, right?
Yeah, those are, it's nice to have a few of those. I'm a big Fish head, and we do Wolfman's Brother, and so for a certain set of people, they're like, "Oh, I know that, okay, got it."
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just like, "Oh, I like that song."
Yeah,
So sometimes you're visiting little camps of music fans with the way you choose covers.
Yeah.
And then we also have a few that are right down the middle, like we do, "Call Me Al," Paul Simon.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And everybody knows and loves that song to
Yeah.
death.
We'll just do whatever. I mean, we got a Weird Al tune on our set
That's
list
true.
too.
Yeah, we
Oh, you do?
Weird Al.
Oh, I have to know what song.
Yoda.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's almost a 2-for-1 cover because you get the Kinks fans
Oh.
and the Weird Al fans.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. We have Andrew North and the Rangers here with us in studio, but we can play another song. Should we do something from Thanks for the Warning Volume 1? This is the newest one, right? The newest album.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you pick, but I'm kind of curious to hear something where, okay, so Rob's, what's the name of the instrument again?
It's an aerophone.
Is there a particular song where the aerophone really stands out? Because now I want to hear something where it's prominent and I can listen for it.
I'm trying to think off of this list.
Yeah. I see a song called Epiphone, but I don't see one called Aerophone.
Yeah, Epiphone is a very straight up saxophone type song.
Is it? Yeah.
I Want to Be a Ranger is real long, but that has a lot of synthy stuff from the aerophone on it.
Yeah. We have time. We can play that one.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. All right. So this is I Want to Be a Ranger. This is from Andrew North and the Rangers. The album is called. Oh, by the way, why is it called Thanks for the Warning Volume 1?
We're still figuring that out. The Thanks for the Warning is a reference to. We got a wonderful write up from Matt Whithouse at the Hippo.
Yeah.
For the studio album we did, and he likened it to, it was like Frank Zappa meets Chicago Transit Authority / something else. What was the third one? Do you remember?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But anyways, those two are enough to give you the gist of what he mentioned, and we're like, oh, that's amazing! We're really proud of that. We made a Facebook post, with that quote pulled out, and the first comment immediately was somebody who's like, "Thanks for the warning."
Oh, really?
I was like, I could see that.
Oh, that's funny.
But we'll run with that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Bring it on.
That always stuck with us.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, here it is. This is this track's called "I Want to Be a Ranger."
This one's true. Seriously, it's true. I know you guys believe me. I'm not sure Kyle believes me. That's okay. We still love Kyle. He's a good guy. In my truck, them poachers out of luck. I want to be a ranger. I'm lacing skates at MSG. A hat trick if I score 3. I want to to be a ranger, an army ranger rough and tough. I don't take no love. I want to be a ranger. I'm off with powers never known. A sender to repulse a home. There's a ranging far and wide. Y'all best step aside. There's a ranging far and wide. Y'all best step aside. I want to be a ranger. Like Chuck Norris I could be. Walk with Texas ranging free. I want to be a ranger. Cause I shall range when I sing. And range in my acting. There's a range across the plains. A range through mountains high. A range into the sea. I am in the sky. I range across the plains. Range through mountains high. I range into the sea. High up in the sky. across the plains,
across the plains,
arranged in mountains high,
mountains high,
arranged under the sea,
under the sea,
high up in the sky, arranged across the plains,
across the plains,
arranged in mountains high,
mountains high,
arranged under the sea,
under the sea,
high up in the sky. I want to be a ranger. 1, 2, 3, 4. To be a ranger.
Oh, that is cool. That is I Want to Be a Ranger from Andrew North and the Rangers here. And they are with us in studio. That is from the album Thanks for the Warning, Volume 1, live in 2022. Do you guys, are you guys recording anything this year as far as live albums? Or
we're going to sort of see what we end up with at the end of the year. We always get as high quality recordings as we can for everything we play, and then we can sort of assess at the end of the year what we've got and what we want to share as far as at a level of, you know, getting it properly mixed and mastered and putting it out as a compilation album like this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're going to end up with for this year. I hope we end up with something that we can do a volume 2 for 23, but that is yet to be determined.
We keep threatening to work on a new studio album, which we need to get going on.
Yeah. No, that's we did play. I played earlier in the show one of the studio tracks there. Well, yeah, from Phosphorescent. I can't say that word. Phosphorescent Snack. Is that the only studio album so far? Everything else is live?
Yep, that's what we've got so far.
Okay, cool. If you're just joining us, we do have Andrew North and the Rangers here, or half the band, the founding members here in studio with us. We have, of course, Andrew North and Chip and Dale are with us. What is the songwriting process like? Because and again, I've never played in a band where there's some improvisation and whatnot. I mean, when you guys, who writes the songs? Do you guys write together, or do you come up with individual ideas? Or
we've worked just about every possible way that you can approach that, and we're always open to approaching it in whatever way is gonna work in any particular time. So there's a little bit of improvisation to that aspect too.
Yeah.
I just write a lot by nature, so I bring a lot of stuff to the band, and at the level of, all right, here's how I play it by myself on piano and sort of what I'm going for, and then everybody else in the band takes that and runs with it, and we end up where we end up. So I'll never come in and be like, and the bass part should go
right,
like it, I mostly I'll come with it and be like, all right, here's what I've got as far as, words and chord changes. And usually it's in a state where it's going to end up fairly close to where I started from. Not always.
Yeah.
And that's been a really rewarding process. It's really good practice for me, letting go of being a control freak about some of that stuff. It's great practice. We also do write as a group. Some of our favorite stuff has been stuff that we all wrote together. Like Mary's Chicken Thigh Money was this weird shambly process of things that came out of band practice, inside jokes, and then all of a sudden it turns into a song. And Chip writes as well. I'm always hoping that everyone else will write. Dale, I'm still waiting for your song.
Hey, I've done some lyrics.
Our policy is to always have sort of a yes policy. Like when people bring songs or covers they want to do or things like that, it's always like, yes, we'll try it. It may not stick, and it may be something we try and we're like, yeah, that didn't really get to where we wanted it to be. But we're always willing to try things, and I think that's really important in a band, to give everybody space to express themselves and to use, to have it be the same creative outlet that I'm lucky enough to have it be, where I'm like, I wrote a bunch of songs and here they are, and now we play them all, and to me that's the coolest thing ever. And I hope that the band can serve that function for everybody.
Right. We have a call. Somebody wants to talk to you.
Hey, this is Rob. This is the guy that plays that aerophone you were talking about a while ago.
Rob, I heard about you. I heard you're very mysterious.
I tend to be. That's why I'm not there in person. I usually don't show my face unless I'm at a performance in full costume. But
Right.
I just wanted to thank you, since I couldn't be there personally, for bringing us on the show and sharing our music with the area.
Oh, happy to do it. Happy to do it. I really like what you guys are doing, and fascinated to learn about the aerophone. Am I saying that right? Aerophone?
Yeah, you can search for it online. It's going to bring you to some sketchy, North Korean website, but if you can get through all of the spam filters, you'll find some documentation on it.
I gotcha. Is that how you bought your aerophone? You bought it from North Korea? Is that even legal?
I thought it was passed down through the generations.
It's legal if you're in North Korea.
Right. I understand. So you went to North Korea to get... I mean, you're mysterious, so you can make up whatever story about it you want. So you went to North Korea to get the aerophone? Is that correct?
It's a rolling product. It's really fun. It's what kind of got me re-energized back into music after I found these guys.
Oh, no kidding.
My little toy that keeps things interesting.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. Yeah, I don't know if you were listening. I don't know if you've been listening from the beginning, but yeah, I was asking these guys for a song where you can really kind of hear the aerophone, and yeah, it's fascinating. I'm going to have to, because obviously there's some live videos too, right, on YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to look up some of those and watch some of those, and I want to see the aerophone in action. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you'll see some stuff.
I got that impression. Yeah.
Rob is the man.
But anyway,
Action.
thanks again. I'll let you guys continue listening from afar.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, Rob. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
All right. Very good. So when you write something and you bring it to the band, and like you said, you don't try to control what everyone does in terms of their parts, but do you ever find that what you had in mind or how you heard it in your head, what it comes out as, ends up being just wildly different from what you had envisioned?
Always, to a matter of degree. It always ends up different from where I thought it might have been going. And sometimes it does end up extremely different. And I find that's a big part of the fun and really a rewarding process. And that's I used to have a really hard time with that with bands, where I would write something and I'd be very committed to what I thought the song should be like. And everybody, you've been in bands, the nature. Everybody brings what they bring to it, and you sort of navigate to where it's going to. And it took me a while to appreciate that process. And, especially with this band, the results are consistently so good that I really trust that process a lot more than I have in the past or in past bands, where it's and sometimes it takes a few weeks for somebody to really dial in the part, and you have to trust. You're like, all right, I hear sort of what you're going for, and even though it's not there yet, we'll keep working on it, and I know it's going to get there.
Yeah.
And that is really cool to watch. As Chip was saying, we're so lucky to have just a phenomenal group of musicians, and watching everybody sort of work things out in real time and challenge themselves and get better, I think is a big part of what keeps us all energized as a band and keeps making those songs better. And that's another thing, is that we're never officially done with a song. Songs are always sort of open to revision.
Yeah.
So if, we can have a song that we've been playing for 2 or 3 years, and in practice we're like, let's try this, or, change this around about it. And that's also sort of a fun process and a nice way to let songs move along with us as a band. Because I personally get really bored playing stuff that's 100% sort of on the rails, exactly the same every time. And here's the fill right after the first verse. It's always the exact same notes, and that's not how my brain works. So I'm really glad I've found a group of other musicians who are willing to put up with that.
Yeah, we're all off the rails too. So.
There you go. Well, it's like we were talking off air while that song was playing. I Want to Be a Ranger. You guys were talking about how there's 3 different possible endings for that song, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of depends on that happens once a show. Sirens every day. I never know when in the show it's going to happen, but it happens
I
every
was really
show.
looking forward to it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm glad it delivered.
yes. But yeah, I mean that I would imagine that helps, kind of keep it fresh and exciting when it's, when the songs kind of change and evolve over time. And are there a lot of songs that go back to when you like pre-band, pre-meeting these guys when you were doing the solo thing?
A couple of those tunes go way back. Epiphone on the album goes back to I want to say 2004 or 5. And I actually didn't write that one. A bandmate of mine named Jeff Rhodes, who's a guitarist, wrote that one. And I always liked it so much that we've kept it going, almost 20 years later now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then Electrostatic Chills, which tends to be the song that we put at the end of every show. Which again, we improvise a lot, but we also play the same song at the end of every show.
Oh.
I'm not sure exactly why, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I wrote that one. That was a really early one when in college I would go down to like the basement in the music department and just like hang out in the piano room, just noodling around for hours at a time because I didn't know what else to do with my time.
Yeah.
And I was starting to write, and I wrote that song in that stretch, which was almost 20 years ago. It might have been 03 or 04, and it's really cool to let a song like that keep going. I played that in my college band and my band for a couple of years after college, and so to be able to still be doing it and to have added so much to it in that, we have new vocal parts that we've worked up over time, and having saxophone parts that are really specific in it, and there's sort of little things that line up with the lyrics that have evolved over time is really cool to have sort of a song that is almost old enough to drink. Keeps getting stuff added to it.
Right. Yeah. And we were also, I think this was just off air we were talking, but it's interesting to me. Dale, you were saying that live you're playing electronic drums.
Yep.
And it's remarkable how good they sound. Like, and I even asked you at one point during that song, I said, so this is all electronic, but that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because people a lot of times will play in front of audience where we've got audience members that have not seen us play yet.
Yeah.
And I can see on their face, especially if they're old school or if they're drummers, they'll look and go, yeah, electronic set. Then by the end of the first set, they're coming up to me like, oh my, I cannot believe that's an electronic set,
Yeah,
So then I'm explaining about all the new Roland technology, and they're just so into it because it's amazing how the new technology sounds. So.
Yeah.
Roland sends Dale a check every month.
They do.
There you go.
One of the great things about an electronic drum kit is that you can actually pick different sounds for different songs.
Yeah.
Which is one of the, it's a lot of different variety there.
And the other awesome thing about it is we can control our own sound level from stage.
Right.
So we can play indoor in breweries or small venues.
That's true.
Everything goes through the board, no amps on stage, because that's usually dictated by how loud the drummer is.
Yeah.
And so we're literally mixing everything through the monitors first and then out to the mains, and whatever level the venue wants, we can do.
That's a big
And
advantage.
we get a lot of compliments. Oh, we can listen to you guys and still talk. This is awesome.
Right. Yeah. No, that's very cool. Chip, as the bass player, were you skeptical at all at first with about the electronic drums, or?
Well, it was a little bit getting used to because I hadn't played with anybody who had played electronic drums before. Although, I mean, Dale and I had played together some at one of the open mics up in Concord before we actually ended up in this band together.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I knew he was talented, and I knew, we clicked very well.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting seeing that, and I mean, I got used to it pretty quickly. It was fine.
Yeah. Cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it is amazing how far the technology has come. What is the gigging schedule like? Are you guys, do you play out a lot pretty consistently, or?
Yeah, we've got as Dale said, we've got back-to-backs coming up next week on Thursday and Friday. So Thursday the 22nd, we're at Panucci's up in Concord. It's going to be a really fun show. And then on the 23rd, on the Friday, it's the Market Days Festival in Concord next week, which is kind of a festival of everything.
Oh yeah.
And it is like the Concord music scene's time to shine. So we always really look forward to it. And if folks don't know, the Bicentennial Square stage by the coffee shop there, Brothers Cortado, that stage in there is like New Hampshire Band Central, and you can just post up and hang out there all day and see so much incredible music. So we're playing on that stage on Friday at 6:30, which we're really looking forward to. We did that last year on the Saturday night, and it was such a good time.
Yeah.
And then let's see, 2 weeks after that, on Saturday, July 1st, we're at Feathered Friend in Concord.
1 week.
And is that 1 week after? Okay, I can't tell time.
Is that new, Feathered Friend?
Feathered Friend, they're pretty new. They've been around for a little more than a year. But in that time, they've gone from like little startup brewery to like, all right, now we took over the back parking lot and we're going to have music back there, even though there's no shade and it's 1,000,000 degrees, and whatever. They've built this crazy stage and patio setup and like sound system. It's really cool.
It's awesome.
And and even we played there a couple times last year, and this year they've upped their game. Really, I've seen a couple shows there, and it's really stoked to get back there. They're really committed to doing like a live music thing there.
Yeah.
And their beer is really good too. So recommend stopping by that one.
Where in Concord is that?
It's in the South End. It's on South Main Street. Kind of by Vinny's Pizza.
Oh, yep.
And
I grew up in Concord, so I know that area well.
What's the date on the Henniker concert series? Is that the 11th?
It's the 11th.
Yeah, Tuesday, July 11th. We're playing in Henniker for their summer concert series.
Okay.
And then on July 15th, we're playing at Litherman's Limited in Concord. Another brewery gig. And they usually put us outside on their patio, which is another actually surprisingly lovely parking lot.
Yeah.
And so we play there a couple times a year as well, and we always really look forward to it. So summer tends to be pretty busy for us.
Yeah.
We have not been able to maintain a schedule that lets us get too far afield right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're always looking for gigs to get out of town, but logistically it's really hard to pull off with 6 people. So we've been having a great time playing Concord, and because every show is different, people keep coming to see us.
Yeah.
So it actually works out pretty well for us to be able to just play a lot and have people get to know our music better and get to know our weird sense of humor and our inside jokes. And so it kind of builds on itself in a really nice way. And so it's always, the more people we can bring in, the better.
Yeah. That's excellent.
And one other thing real quick to mention that we should do is that every month, first Wednesday of the month, we actually host the open mic at Area 23 up in Concord.
Oh, okay.
So,
yep.
I mean, we'll play a few songs ourselves, but we'll also back up other musicians if they ask us to.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And that open mic thing has really become a thing. Like when we first talked to Area 23 about doing that once a month, I figured it would be, pretty casual open mic, pretty chill. We'd get through the list of singer-songwriter guitar folks, and then we would have a couple hours at the end to just basically have an open band practice.
Yeah.
And it very quickly ramped up to people found out we were hosting, and now in Concord there's like 110 people out on a Wednesday night, and they're there from 6:30 p.m. to like 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And people don't go out in Concord, so it really like blows my mind.
Right.
Like we get that every month, and it's so cool, and it's a really like fun and positive community that's grown around that. So it's super cool.
Yeah, and now we're getting full bands that want to come and debut that have never played in front of people before.
Oh, no kidding.
Come on our host night. And
yeah.
It's just become a really cool thing.
For some reason, it's worth their time to drive. Like we had a guy drive from Maine last time to play with his band there, and we're like, I know it sucks, but you get 3 songs. And that's it. And like they're all super stoked on it. So
wow, cool.
It's really cool. And I learn about a ton of bands and musicians through that. And seeing people come out of the woodwork and just blow my mind with how talented they are is amazing. Yeah,
Area 23 seems to have really caught on. Kirk was on my show. He's never been on this iteration of the show. He was on the old version of the show that I had when I did the TV show. But it seems like they're really thriving, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Good to see. And, and it allows local music to thrive. And, that's fantastic. So, so you guys, and then at some point, I can't remember if we talked about this on air or off air. At some point, you might do another studio album.
Yeah, we're always working on it. We have more songs than we know what to do with for that context. And what's really nice is that with the electronic drums and all that, it's actually really easy to self-record without a lot of bleed or things like that. So Phosphorescent Snack, we did, the basic tracking on our own. And then got some professional help doing the mix and master to get it, where it really needed to be.
Yeah.
But that kind of process, and again, I think it's really enabled by the electronic drums, allows us to take the time that we really need to tinker with things or to do it in our own time and to get to a result that we're really excited about, which I think, I've recorded studio albums in studio and that I've paid for myself and things like that. And that feeling of being under the gun, I don't feel like is really, sometimes it's great for the creative process.
Sure.
For me personally, I stress too much and it was not, I'm not happy in that process. So I'm much happier being like, all right, let's try this song and we can play it, 15 times over and over and over again and sort of see where we end up with it. And not have to be watching the clock or anything.
Right.
And then once we have that bundled together, then it's much easier to take a project that's a discrete size and scope, and you can go to an engineer and be like, all right, can you help us? Because I'm not an audio engineer. Can you help us make this sound amazing?
Yeah.
And we're lucky to have folks who can do that.
Oh, yeah. And we're fortunate to live in a time where you have so many different options as far as recording. And, I've talked to bands who, they never even were in the same room when recording albums. They would, like during the pandemic, they would email tracks back and forth. And, it's incredible what you can do now. And, and of course, there's still plenty of great studios around, too, where you can go and you can pay the money and spend the time there, but you can do a lot on your own these days. It's changed a lot from when I was growing up or when any of us were growing up, really.
Well, definitely on some of the songs on Phosphorescent Snack, we'd be doing stuff, and then Rob would come in and he'd record like 8 different tracks for the same song.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And various different
Rob,
instruments on his Aerophone, too.
Rob was a bit of an orchestra unto himself. In true Mysterious Stranger fashion. We just gave him the tracks, and he gave them back to us, and we're like, oh my God, what did you do?
And most 8 layers later.
Album.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have options, I guess, right? We're gonna in a couple of moments we'll start to wrap up. We'll play one more track from your live album. One of your live albums, I should say. Thanks for the Warning, Volume 1. But before we begin to wrap up, I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you guys online so they can keep up with everything that you're doing and keep up with shows. And it sounds like you've got a busy summer ahead and all of it. And of course, where to find your music. So anything you want to make sure everyone knows.
Oh, yeah. We Dale Webmasters our website at AndrewNorthandTheRangers.com.
It's a nice website.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm a website geek, so I notice these things.
And then, we keep up with our Facebook. We keep that really maintained. So if you want to know what's going on, that's probably a great place to go. Just search Andrew North and the Rangers on Facebook.
Yeah.
On Instagram at Andrew North and the Rangers. Those are probably the primary ones. As far as keeping up with output, Bandcamp is a great place to. We post almost every show up there, for folks to keep up with it.
And do go to AndrewNorthandTheRangers.com and go to the contact page. We just have like a little 4 or 5 field contact form.
Yeah.
And we'll get you on the email list. And Andrew is awesome at putting out basically a monthly newsletter and a calendar session update when we have a bunch of shows lined up. And he'll get emails out to everybody.
Cool.
We're very communicative.
Yeah.
So just go on there and sign up for our email list.
Excellent. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you all so much. Andrew, Chip, Dale, I appreciate the 3 of you coming in. This has been wonderful. But guys, thank you again so much, Andrew North and the Rangers. This has been cool. And I'll let you guys pick. I'm going to play one more track to close the show from Thanks for the Warning, Volume 1. What should I play?
First off, thank you so much, Matt, for having us.
Thank you.
That was so much fun.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'd say play Epiphone.
Epiphone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Feature our absent saxophone players.
Gotcha. All right, we will close out with that. Okay, so this is Epiphone from Andrew North and the Rangers, and I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.